Welcome to War Doc's 10 Good Minutes on Leadership series. In these episodes, we speak with leaders across the spectrum of military medicine to explore their thoughts, insights, and lessons learned on the unique privilege of leadership.
Welcome to War Doc's 10 Good Minutes on Leadership series. In these episodes, we ask leaders from across the spectrum of military medicine to share their insights on the privilege of leadership. I'm your host, Major General Retired Jeff Clark. Today's 10 Good Minutes will be spent with Major General Retired Sean Murphy. Sean's a dear friend. We served together several times. And Sean, thanks for being on the show and for sharing your insights.
Oh, you bet. I couldn't imagine doing it with anybody. More pleasure.
Yeah, you're very kind. Why don't we get to the first question? Can you summarize your leadership philosophy and some of the foundational principles that guide your leadership?
Jeff, I think my leadership principles or philosophy really changed over time and evolved, I think is a great word. And I think it started with sports or when I was little and running around and, it wasn't always the first chosen on some of those teams, but I was fast and I just kind of hung in there. And so I really believed in that teaming of people with different skills and that servant leadership because it's so important for others around us to help us. And I felt the same for me to help others in that teaming environment and winning as a team and how important it is that everyone has a place on that team. As I told people often, you think of baseball or something that most people understand. I don't need 6 all-star pitchers. That's not going to get me, to the cup. I need a first baseman. I need a catcher. I need a pitcher. I need an outfielder. And they all have different skills that they bring to the team that you're on. So I would often get people that were actually even kind of misfits, and I just sit with them and talk with them because everybody has something that they can bring to that team. And so it was so rewarding when you find the person and you put them in that right position and they just excel. And then I also talk to people about, what the world would be like without garbage men, right? People will think that's not an important position. That's a key and essential position for all of us. And those are those things I always try to keep in mind and make sure to bring the spotlight on people who did amazing jobs at wherever their skill mix was.
Yeah. Sean, thank you for that. And could you expand a little bit on building and maintaining a team and in specific, any strategies you have for taking care of your people?
Yeah, I think that as you build that team, it is so important that everybody feels like they're a valued member. So often you have people with very different personalities, and actually that diversity is great. You'll have introverts and extroverts and people with skills on the right and the left and all over. And making sure that I understood where these people were in their lives and what they valued, not what I valued, but what they valued.
Yep.
Was very, very important because I'd have people that wanted to, get picked on all the time as far as answering questions or helping the team. I had others that they would prefer to never say a word and just do their job. And if I kind of pointed them out, they became really uncomfortable and they truly didn't like that. And so the more you listen and the more you understand those people on your team that you're working with or that you're coaching, the better off the team and the stronger the team will be.
Yeah, thank you for that. That's very important. A little more specific question. Can you share an example of a particularly challenging leadership situation or decision that you had to make and kind of guide us through how you thought through that and end up making that hard decision or taking on that challenge?
I think the hardest decisions and the hardest situations I was in, it was always personnel challenges, right? And so I really believe in vulnerability. I believe that if, those people that you work with understand how vulnerable you are, I have tons of weaknesses. I have anxiety. I'm a little bit of an introvert, and people would never know that. And when I was taking care of people, sometimes people were sad, sometimes people were depressed, sometimes people were suicidal. Those honestly are some of the cases that I lost sleep on more than any others, and would take a long time and a lot of help, support, and time to get that person back where they wanted to be. And those life challenges, the families, and all the things that the military puts us through at times with deployments, with stress, with our work hours. I think that helping people through those, particularly those that were really in a dark place, I think were the hardest and the most important and took the most time. And you might think, what about saving the world or Tomodachi or something? And I go, nope. Compared to making sure that someone is in a good place and is not going to take their own life, quite honestly, were the hardest situations that I was ever in.
Yeah, thank you for that. I've heard it said that we lead persons, we don't lead people, we lead individuals, and what you just shared is certainly part of that. And so, just effective communication is crucial. You've made reference to it off and on. What are your strategies for making sure that your communication is clear and that folks understand what you're trying to relay?
I think of just relationships in life, and you cannot over communicate. And so even when you think you communicated well, it doesn't hurt to have some repetition, some good eye contact with people, and also sampling across your team, asking people, hey, on one-on-one, did you understand what I said at that commander's call or that others?
Right.
And I'd get deer in the headlights looks at times, and I'd get very good understanding. And I'd also get great suggestions that, hey, Sean, you're approaching it from this angle. People with your personality will understand it from that angle. But not everybody has your personality or understanding the way others do. So again, it is so important to understand those you work with, how they communicate, so that you can communicate with them on their terms, not on your terms. So it's a great question. And Karen would still say after 40 years of marriage, I'm still working at it.
Yeah, aren't we all? Thank you for that. We've been speaking with Major General Retired Sean Murphy on War Doc's 10 Good Minutes on Leadership. Sean, thanks again for being on the show, for sharing your insights, spending your time with us, and thank you for your service to our nation.
Oh, it's been a pleasure, Jeff.
Thank you again. And you can find more about Major General Retired Sean Murphy and all of our guests on our website, www.wardocs.podcast. Be sure to rate and review our podcast on your favorite platform and subscribe so you don't miss any of our episodes. Thank you for joining us. May God bless.
See you later, Jeff.
Thank you for tuning in to War Doc's 10 Good Minutes on Leadership series. We hope you found today's insights valuable and inspiring. To stay connected with Team War Docs, visit our website at wardocspodcast.com. Follow us on social media for updates, and subscribe to our War Docs YouTube channel for more engaging content. Your support helps us continue to document the experiences and contributions of military medicine professionals as we honor the legacy and preserve the history of military medicine for the next generation.